Greetings. Elder Blacklight here. So, why is all this happening at this point in time? It's because the Caucasian's time is up, and he wants to take you to hell with him. I got backup. Check this out.
Yes, indeed.
Go ahead, brother. The floor is yours.
Well, first of all, what this particular presentation is about, it's about how this environment, as we speak, is changing. Not only is it changing, but it's changing it's becoming less habitable for the European and more habitable for the original man. And we're going to go all into that. And before we go into that, we're going to go into the science of Asiatic. This is a word that has been misused. A lot of brothers call themselves the Asiatic black man. A lot of people don't really understand this term, and they have a problem when our great ancestors, such as the Messenger, such as Allah the Father, so even Noble Jew Ali, who taught that we were Asiatic. So you have brothers coming with whether or not we Asiatic, whether or not we African. When we go into the science of this word, we now will have a deep understanding of what the term Asiatic means and how it transcends all other titles, names, labels, and all of that. So we're going to go in right now.
All right, let's go.
So the science of Asiatic, carbon 7 and 14. We're about to go in. First of all, that term Asiatic is a term that has its origins prior to the Kabbalah, but it can be found in the Kabbalistic scripts. So when we ask, what is the Kabbalah? The Kabbalah is, or what they say it is an esoteric method, discipline, and school of thought that originated in Judaism. But in reality, it's the esoteric knowledge that the original man gave the Europeans and Caucasians to civilize them from the hills and caves of Europe to put them on their square, and that's how they became Jews, Masons, etc., to be able to rule the world. That's the mathematics, the science, the astronomy that we gave them to put them on their square. Taught them how to cook their food, taught them how to eat the right foods, and this is what we gave to them to civilize them from the hills and caves of Europe when they was walking on all fours like savages, like beasts. And this is the information that they use to this day to hold over your head so that they can control the environment, control economics, control policy, and you have no idea what's going on because you're not in tune with your ancient scriptures and your ancient texts.
Let's talk about this. What made you choose such a powerful and enlightened topic, brother? I hope you can stand up to it, brother.
Most definitely. It's such a powerful topic. For one, these are sciences that's not being taught in school. So our babies are in school being taught the same old things that we were taught, that our parents and grandparents was taught, but they're not getting the full story, they're not getting full truth. So to bring this science to the people, to let them know the time that we are in and how necessary it is to know what's actually going on out there and how we as a people are completely in tune with nature, how nature is on our side and in favor of us. It comes from us and we are one with it. So when we walking around thinking that walking with a lack mentality or a poverty mentality or mentality that we are oppressed people, we are only oppressed because we give people the stick to beat us down with. But in reality, this whole universe not only is us, comes from us, in tune with us, but is in our favor. And we're going to show and prove some of those things today. As I said, the name of this particular presentation is Sirius, the Golden Age and the Rise of the Black Gods. First, we have to go into something that's known as procession of the equinoxes. Now, as you do a little research, you'll know that our ancestors, they knew clearly of what's titled procession of the equinoxes today. Just to go into it, equinox procession is the observable phenomenon that every year on the morning of the spring equinox, which is March 21st, one of 2 days in the year that the day and night are of equal duration, the other day being September 21st, the sun appears to rise at a slightly different place relative to the background stars than it did the year before. So as our ancestors would look up at the sky, at the cosmos, they would see that the sky appeared to change. It would appear that stars were moving. Now, it takes between 24,000 to 26,000 years, approximately 25,000 years, for the sun to make a complete cycle through the 12 constellations known as the zodiac, approximately a little over 2.1 thousand years for each constellation. So these are what would be called the fixed stars. Fixed stars. So our ancestors would look up and they would see that the sun would be in a different place every year. And it would move slightly, but we were very observable. We were very observational people, so we can tell it appeared that the stars were moving. But it wasn't the stars that were moving, because these was fixed stars, or what's called fixed stars. So as our sun moves through each one of these constellations, it takes about 2.1 thousand years to make it through a complete constellation, and approximately 25,000 years to make it a complete cycle through all 12 of the constellations. Now, the Western lunisolar model holds that the axis of the Earth is wobbling, slowly causing the backward motion procession through the constellation of the zodiac. So our planet is on a 23.5 degree tilt. Now, Western science, and some people still to this day, suggest that the reason why we see our sun moving through these particular constellations is because of the Earth's wobble, because of the 23.5 degree tilt. However, and you can see in school, they still teach this model. They teach that the sun is in the center and our planets just rotate around the sun as such. I once heard a Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad video where he was teaching how they taught us that the planets moved around the sun. And then once we realized that the sun was moving also, then he said, what is the sun rotating around? We'll go into that a little bit later. Now, our ancestors held a different view. They held the idea that the whole entire solar system was moving, as the binary model holds that Earth is not wobbling significantly, but instead that precession is caused by the entire solar system moving in a curved line through space. So that would be our sun moving through the universe and dragging the planets along with it. Not a stationary sun, but the whole entire solar system moving. And what is that solar system moving around? There is a second sun or star system that our sun is orbiting, that our whole solar system is orbiting. Our solar system is moving this way, and this new star, or not new star, but second star, second sun, is moving that way. So it's actually orbiting each other at a center point of gravitation. And the name of that star system is Sirius, the Sirius star system, consisting of Sirius A. Sirius A is 10 times larger than our sun, twice as massive, and registers 20 times as much luminance. It is the greatest, most brilliant star in our hemisphere, and it is known as a blue-white star. It is 8.7 light years from Earth and moving on a direct course toward our solar system. It is located in the jaws of the Great Dog, or Canis Major constellation. Hence, it is known as the Dog Star. It is visible in the northern hemisphere of the evening sky from November to April. It can be located by following a direct line through the belt of Orion toward the horizon. And we'll go into how our ancestors knew about this other star system even when there was no detectable technology that was left behind to know.
One way to crush the authority of this world's government is to know about self. Coming of Master Farah Muhammad, raising up the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is to do that purpose, is to crush the enemy's government. Islamic view in regard and moral base of government and the right to rule over others. The Holy Quran declares in clear, unmistakable words that the right to rule over others comes from God. No one has any inherent, personal, intrinsic, independent claim to it. We are told that Allah is the King of Kings and the Master called Masters. He bestows kingship and kingdoms upon whomever He pleases. The Quran says, "Say, O Allah, Lord of sovereignty, Thou givest sovereignty to whomsoever Thou pleasest, and Thou takest away sovereignty to whomsoever Thou pleasest. Thou exalt whomever Thou pleasest, and Thou abasest whomever Thou pleasest. In the hand is all good. In Thy hands is all good. Thou surely hast power to do all things." Black light.